Hey everyone, I just saw the new amateur movie with Rami Malek and I really enjoyed it. It was like a spy, like an action spy film, maybe like a thriller, spy thriller. And so Rami Malek, he works for the CIA and he works in IT, encrypting files and decoding files, I guess. Whatchamacallit. So they send all the different types of encryption that they use for their secure messages. He wrote almost all the programs. He's like a genius with the computers and programming. Very intelligent guy, has an IQ of 170. And basically what happens, he works there, he decodes these files, he encrypts these files, and his wife, they never said what type of work she did, but she had to travel for a business conference in London, and there ended up being a hostage situation, and she took the place of someone else, so the other person was able to go free, and she was held at gunpoint by the hostage takers, and they ended up shooting her because the police in London were blocking them from escaping. So basically, Rami Malek, he does his work with the computer, and he ends up getting all these messages from an informant that was former KGB, and that KGB informant ended up being killed by the KGB when he defected, but his widow continued to send the messages to Rami Malek. So he gets all these files, he decodes all these things and everything, and they show that the director, and I don't know if he was assistant director, I don't know, two people that were high up in the CIA were doing all of these black ops, all of these missions that were highly illegal and that were really ethically wrong, and they were doing things that, I don't know, they didn't explain exactly why, but they ordered drone strikes on our allies. They were doing things that made no sense, and all without the approval of the director of the CIA or the president. They were just doing things on their own. And these two men, when Rami Malek brought them the information, he said, I have all this information. I have it all. If anything happens to me and I don't log in 5 hours, all this information is going to the Washington Post, New York Times. Like, this is going to be a big deal. So they said, oh, well, okay. They ended up searching everywhere. They searched in his house, they searched in his office, they searched everywhere to try to find this dead man's switch, try to find USB or anything that he had that information. They never found it. And they ended up sending Lawrence Fishburne to try to kill Rami Malek, but he was unsuccessful. The director of the CIA sent somebody else to try and kill Rami Malek, and they were unsuccessful too. And the one guy died, and Lawrence Fishburne ended up living. But so basically, Rami Malek, once his wife dies, he ends up he gets trained by Lawrence Fishburne on all the CIA tactics and on how to build IEDs, on how to blend it, like all the different spy things, on how to shoot a gun. He's not very good at it, so he stays away from that. But the training, they don't really show a lot of the training. But he gets trained for a couple weeks. He disappears. They want to kill, the CIA wants to kill him. And basically it ends up where he finds all of his wife's, all the people involved, including the person who pulled the trigger. And the first person that he finds that was one of the hostage takers gets killed by a van. Accidental. And then the second one, he depressurizes the glass, so then the person is on a pool that's 16 stories up, and then they fall down 16 stories to their death. And then you have the third one was blown up by IED. And then the last one, which I expected for him to kill the person who actually pulled the trigger and killed his wife, but he ended up controlling the guy's boat without him knowing and moving him into Finnish waters, calling the Interpol, calling the Finnish Navy, and getting him arrested. And it shows at the end that the CIA director makes sure that the two men who were running these black ops that were bombing hospitals, they were killing completely innocent people, they were bombing our allies. We don't even understand why they were doing it, but whatever, they had their reason. And both of those men, they're taken away from their family, they put in prison. It shows that at the end of the movie. It shows Rami Malek, Lawrence Fishburne just comes into his car, just says, "Oh, okay, you know, you really surprised me." And I don't know if, I think most likely Rami Malek would have just gone back to the CIA and then been a field agent, because they trained him. He had proven his skills in combat, and he was very intelligent, so most likely they kept him as an asset. That's what I would think. But overall, I'd say it's a pretty good movie. I would say 8 out of 10. I'd say 8 out, yeah. Whatchamacallit. So, yeah. If you enjoy action movies, thrillers, spy movies, things like that, then I'd recommend you all go check out The Amateur.